GSL.
Welcome back. GSL Code S time. We are in the loser match, guys. It's going to be a PvP creator. Going to be going up against Panic. We've been seeing a lot of creative PvPs in tech, as well as just crazy Proxygate versus Proxygate. Immediately casted a crazy one between Parting and Myungshik, where they both Proxygated each other in Game 3. And Myungshik won because Parting didn't have a Nexus, and he could see the cannon from the bottom of the ramp, and he could micro his Stalkers and their shields to eventually poke it down. Parting only had a cannon and Zealots.
Wow.
So he couldn't micro the Zealots against the Stalkers.
Yeah.
And Myungshik just barely won that.
That's like some endless micro. That takes a long time.
Yep.
And as the Zealot
they
player,
paused
I think
the game.
you don't leave.
They paused the game, and then they asked both players if they thought they could win. Myungshik said yes. And Parting was like, oh no, he knows. He knows how he can win. And he did it. He executed it.
It is doable. Very difficult. You have to have a lot of patience, and you cannot misclick. So.
Definitely watch those ones if you missed that.
I will absolutely check that out. That sounds like a very exciting game.
Well, Iron Fortress Deadwing, it looks like Creator doesn't want to play these big maps. And Panic as well. Gonna ban out Bonnie Research Station, a big 2-player map, and then Merry-Go-Round, a 3-player map. So
right. Yeah, those are like the tightest, littlest maps that we can basically see. So it's gonna be easier for them to, I guess, find proxies and move around a bit more.
Expedition lost. First map between these two Paradox players.
You've been playing for 4 hours and 53 minutes.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Over at Keswick Up, it said something like 9.5 hours. You're like, what? Game number 1. Let's jump into it right now.
All right, in the top of our map, a player from Prime, he is.
Creator Prime.
I couldn't think of anything good to say about him for some reason. I don't know. He needs to close his holes.
Still waiting on him to do that. And over here, in the bottom left,
MVP Panic.
Is he cannon rushing?
It's got to be, I think.
I think it's a cannon rush.
Has to be.
This
Unless it's the earliest scout of all time to make sure you're not getting proxied.
It's like
that
8 scout or something. Like.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
Observer already showing like where you might want a cannon rush.
Yeah. All right, so this kind of comes down to how quickly does Creator react to this? Because if you like react to this very quickly, it doesn't work. Oh, okay, but he's going to cannon push from the bottom. I was thinking more of, oh no, he's going to come up from behind. Now, if you're on top of this,
it's a gas rush.
Okay, a double gas steal. That's cool. That's cool.
All right, we were off, but still a very viable strategy you can do with an early probe, rushing to your opponent's base.
This is it's a very interesting one because there's so many different ways that you can deal with it. You have to be careful though because you're going to be behind on gas. He's actually getting, in certain ways, behind on minerals right now. With some nice micro from Panic's probe. I actually love playing against stuff like this. The games are so interesting. A lot of mind games going on as well.
Yeah.
This goes back. Yeah, it's the one thing you got to make sure is that you have a probe standing in the right position on the geyser. Geysers have like a certain place that you can stand with the probe to deny your opponent building a geyser on it. You got to make sure. Basically, if he could start the geyser again, that would be just so painful. But yeah, it looks like we'll see what Panic wants to follow up here with, because he will have a gas advantage.
Doesn't mind from that second one yet, though. Delaying that a lot. Maybe just waiting until he gets a cybernetic score down because he knows he's a little bit behind there.
Yeah, his minerals were a bit behind from it, so
yeah.
It makes some sense. Looks like Creator really wants his second gas as well. Realistically, at this point, Panic is actually ahead in minerals. What is he going to proxy up here? Is he going to go DT or something? It's a funny proxy location from Panic.
Yeah. Let's wait. Pylon is down.
Or now it is down. Finished.
Twilight.
And Twilight.
Yeah.
Keeps the probe. It's going to be DTs.
Does look like it. Should probably use that probe to kill off that Tastelope.
And what is the idea with stealing both the gas there while going DTs? Just to make sure, like, you want to have enough to get the tech out to detect the DTs? Or maybe trick your opponent into thinking you're going to follow up with a very quick rush and he, you know, goes for a bunch of gates or something like we do see out of Creator?
I feel like...
Or is this Creator just saying, I'm just going to kill you 4-gate instantly?
Well, yeah, I mean, this makes a lot of sense from Creator, which actually kind of makes... Like, that's a good counter to this build, I think, in some way. Like, it's a good counter to double gas because you have extra minerals. Well, not exactly the way that Creator played out, but that's kind of the thought process, right? Like, okay, a 4-gate, you know, with my lack of gas, this can be powerful. But DT absolutely can beat a 4-gate. You put down the Nexus Cannon, and you just you warp in DTs, and you defend with one, you attack with one.
It's much easier to pull this off in Heart of the Swarm, you know, when you do have that Mothership Core.
Yeah. Absolutely the case. So I think that he probably wanted a reaction like this out of Creator. And with that, yeah, the Dark Shrine is far enough along. If he goes and proxies a pylon right now, Creator needs to actually start a Robo very soon if he wants to win this game.
And at the same time, Creator showed Panic that he wanted that second gas. Maybe like trying to tell him that he is going into tech, but Panic is still going ahead with these DTs, and Creator's just going to try to kill him. But you got to put down that cannon. Okay, there you go. Still going to lose the Mothership Core. Creator's actually going to commit to doing a lot of damage here, but he's taking damage from that photon overcharge.
Good micro from Panic. He's actually a little bit off on having that DT warp. No, there
I think Panic just wins. There's no detection. He makes one here to defend, and he's totally fine.
Yeah, that's a straight victory. It seems like actually really it's a good build to pull out once. I don't think Panic can do this again in GSL. I think this
is again.
Certainly not this season. But it's a very smart mind game. Like
Creator looks like he may want to try to put down a Robo down here at his pylon. Or no, he's going to make a Forge. Okay.
Yeah, and it's not a bad choice. Like, there is a possibility sometimes when you do something like that to end up winning the game, but this isn't going to be one of those times. He doesn't have enough Stalkers left to actually out-micro.
Yeah. He's got 4 probes. He's barely mining. He's putting everything on one cannon. GG. Panic wins game 1.
Right. Well done. Smart build there by Panic.
Oh, yeah. You can tell he's put a lot of thought into this PvP.
Yeah, when you go for a double gas, like, what's the first build that you know they can't do? They can't go, like, Quick Oracle. Like, it absolutely takes that out of the equation. And Robo, like, you just don't get a Robo quickly in this matchup.
You can't
it's
fast
bad.
Robo.
Yeah.
So it's actually a really smart build from Panic.
But it's like, in some ways, it's almost obvious now that we've seen it again. We haven't seen a double gas rush at the professional level in quite a while, which is why I don't think he can do it again. This is completely on everyone's radar now.
Toya's like, I can't believe you would be that dirty.
Yeah.
That was just way too cheesy. Please don't do that again.
It's like, now you got to do
it. It looks like they're actually lecturing him. That's kind of funny.
It's like, we told you, keep it above the belt. Like, what are you doing? Beat him with
We told you DTs were banned, okay? You're not allowed to use that tech, all right?
Gotta be prepared to die.
Well,
Panic's like, but I won the game. I don't understand.
You know, I think Panic, his PvP really is fantastic. He showed such a great series against Trap and Code A, and here he's already shown a very intelligent build. He executed it quite well.
This guy is just so smart.
Yeah.
He is so smart.
He's really an up-and-coming Protoss right now. It's
Even that build against Bomber, he just identified the exact state of the game, and he's like, okay, I can just do this now.
Yeah.
And he does it instantly, no hesitation. I love it.
Creator doesn't really have anyone going in and talking to him. This is
Where's
the
Gerard?
I don't know. Actually, I didn't see him today.
I didn't see him either.
I don't know if he's even here today.
Is Creator here all alone? That would be sad.
That would be sad.
Overgrowth is map 2.
All right, this is as standard as you can get. Let's see what these guys want to go for.
One thing I will give to the GSL, best music. Best
GSL?
music, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah, definitely. BK chooses their music. He's fantastic. I especially liked when we had Nickelback as our closing song. It's really good.
Game 2, Panic versus Creator, losers match. Who gets to that final match?
All right, over in the top right, getting a little bit outsmarted there. He is.
Creator Prime.
Down here in the blue,
MVP Panic.
one of our smartest Protoss players in Korea. What about Terminator?
Love Terminator. He's brilliant.
Yeah, I know you went off on a rant about Terminator, like a good rant about how you're like, oh my god, this guy's amazing.
He's so smart, and it's the weirdest thing. Has he, because I haven't been able to watch Pro League, as I said, for a while now. Has he played Pro League yet?
No.
Yeah,
Actually,
isn't
I
that
don't
the
think
weirdest
so.
thing?
I don't think so.
That's so weird. But he's team captain. He does well in individual leagues, and they don't use him in Pro League. It's like, what an interesting thing that is.
He made it to Kespa Cup. He qualified to Kespa Cup. Round of 16, goes up against Life, wins 2 games, goes up 2-1, and then loses 3-2.
It's
So close,
heartbreaking.
man. So close.
He's a brilliant Protoss. His understanding is so good. He pops out stuff that I didn't even think of a lot. And, I mean, that, like, love that guy. I don't look at Panic in the same way at all as him, but I view them, both of them as very intelligent players. I think Panic has some great strategies and stuff, but there's, like, they play a bit different if you get my meaning.
Yeah. What do you think about Hush?
Hush has been getting a lot better.
Because the reason I ask you is because a ton of CJ players have said in interviews that he is always in the background just like coaching the Protoss players, telling them what to do, exactly like all the builds, how to play the map, how to play the player. It's almost like he's like this genius.
That's really interesting.
That can't quite execute it to its full potential yet, but he's incredibly smart.
That's really
While we're on the
interesting.
topic of very smart Protosses.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of players like that in the past. I want to talk about that in a second, but I want to even mention that I thought that Hush played very well, even at the beginning of Pro League this year, like in December when it started. He had some. He was out for CJ a lot early on, and I thought he was playing nice games this year. So that's really cool to hear. But I mean, there are players that just can't do it, but like on stage and stuff, but are godly. And actually, one of the commentators for Pro League, Kanata, was one of those players where he was like, well, this guy's basically always one of the best Terrans in the world, but can't win anything.
And that's why he's such a great commentator.
Yeah.
Like, he's just so successful because he knows the game in and out to, like, the deepest level. And he's just so good on that analysis side for the Koreans. But we're kind of getting a little bit off track here.
It's exciting to talk about that.
Yeah.
But this game is actually already fantastic. Okay, I love PvP, man. Both players open with 2-gate. And 2-gate's like kind of a... Like, it's really safe and really cool, especially on a straightforward map. But when you see your opponent 2 gates, there's 2 possibilities. Okay, because when both players 2-gate, you never want to go for a big stalker pressure. It's so risky. But against 1-gate, you definitely could do something like that. Now here, normally what you do, the obvious thing is to throw down a Twilight right away, because you both are going to be having a lot of stalkers off of 2 gates. You may as well get Blink. But because of that, you could go into Stargate play, because what's good against Blink? Oracle into Blink.
Yeah.
So it's like
you
it's
put it all on the table.
Yeah, it's really cool to see, and both these players taking different routes right now. We'll see if Creator wants to go for, because he's going 3 gates with this, which is kind of interesting. Right into a Robo instead. Okay, so that is different.
Panic can find a little opening here if he identifies what's coming. You know, defend back at home, keep a couple stalkers, your Mothership Core, and put on pressure with your Blink.
Yeah.
He's already got a decently forward pylon. It's not the closest pylon I've ever seen. Okay, there's a second one coming up that's going to be very close. And he also killed the probe of Creator very early on in the bottom right.
Yeah, this is actually looking pretty decent for Panic right now. With all these stalkers up there, he should be able to force a cancel on this Nexus, absolutely.
Yeah.
Without any problem.
You have the Photon Overcharge here to deal with this Oracle coming in.
And this is the type of situation. Now, this is why you don't normally see Oracle into Robo. Because now he can warp in 2 sentries here. Well, I guess he's actually just going to press the issue, which is fine as well. But, like, even if he couldn't get up this ramp, the contain he would have on would be, like, impossible to break.
Wow, he's actually just going to blink in, go immediately for that Mothership Core. He's taking a lot of damage, though.
Yeah, he's doing fantastically. He's picking off all the gas units. There's an Immortal out. Okay, back up. Makes 3 more Stalkers. If Creator goes down that ramp, he will lose.
Oh.
In fact, he just goes right back at him.
And he's going to get it. There you go. Only 2 Zealots now. He can micro out here away from that Photon Overcharge. Keeps a lot of his Stalkers alive. And now Creator's banking on trying to Chrono Boost out Immortals alone.
Now, this is the one way Creator can really come back here is a really strong Oracle play, and in fact, he's getting it. That is a very strong Oracle play, but does he have enough to hold on at home? Because, well, he's now kind of forcing this into an all-in. Blanks forward onto this Immortal. Will take it out. Good probe surrounds coming out, but there's not any units to go with it.
Yep. Or at least all these units are being picked apart one by one. But at the same time, Panic doesn't really have much of an economy back home. He's got 10 probes.
No, yeah, this is it's kind of interesting. But with Blank, he loses another Stalker. That's painful. And we actually don't have any units being made for Creator right now.
Creator took his hands off the keyboard.
Oh, did he? Oh my God, yeah, you're right, he did. Well, he is giving up. Just kind of a narrow victory there by Panic. Creator definitely a little bit downtrodden at the moment.
Yeah. Kind of sad to see. Creator, a very emotional player. Gonna get out of the group 0-4.
Yeah, that's pretty painful.
WW.
He had some pretty good plays today and stuff. He shouldn't be that upset though, because if you pay attention to Panic, seriously, his PvP is really, really, really good.
Yeah. Looking forward to more of his PvP play in the future, for sure. I want to see him show it off a bit more, you know, at the higher levels.
Yeah.
Let's see how far exactly he can get here. He's got a huge opponent in the final match in Innovation.
Yeah, if he wins against Innovation, that's a big upset.
Yeah.
That is a big upset.
Creator, it's kind of sad to see, but he does go down.
Yeah.
And
well, he was the weakest player today. That is an absolute fact. And I actually expected him to get last place in this group, to be perfectly honest, coming into today.
I was on that same page.
Yeah, it's like cool that he got into Code S, but at this moment, is he actually one of the top 32 players in the world? I would say no.
No.
I would not put him in top 32. Not that Code S is exactly top 32, nor should it ever be, looking realistically at the way.
I mean, if Creator's in it goes.
But,
so, yeah, kind of sad to see. I know a lot of people are Creator fans, but just a pretty hard group for Creator and where he's at right now.
Yeah, it certainly is. But Panic doing very well, and that's really cool to see. Will he be able to take out Innovation, though?
It's a huge match. We got to see his PvT against a different Terran opponent. He went down 1-2 to Bomber. Now he's got Innovation. We called Innovation on a different tier. But again, Bomber took out Innovation 2-0. So it's kind of this weird mix we got going on. It's going to be a very interesting final match.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how it'll go because I think Panic does have a shot here. Innovation played very well against Creator, but Creator like almost won game number 2.
He did?
Yeah, I don't know what really Panic is going to do here. Is he going to use the same types of styles against
I think he's a bit more solid. He's definitely a little bit less porous, as we were talking about before. And let's see if he can make it work.
All right. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, guys. When we come back, our final match of the night.